Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about business credit, repairing your personal credit, and all things financial literacy. Today, we're going to be looking at one of the things I talked about in my passive income video, but I want to get in more depth. And that's going to be the 10 best high yield savings account that helped me save $100,000. So if you go back to my previous video where I talked about saving $15,000 per month, it's basically an extension of that video as well. That was, where I was trying to set aside money. I have a budgeting tool. If you want, you can download that for free. You should actually see that at the bottom of your screen. But it was just a budgeting tool that I used to help me set aside money when I had very low income. And it's still something that I implement today, just on a higher scale to help me save money. And high yield savings accounts are one of those tools that I felt like were being underutilized, especially right now. A couple years ago, a good high yield savings would have been like 2%. And today we have high yield savings account as high as 5.45%. So all of the accounts that I'm going to mention on this list, I picked them because they met a few requirements. They didn't have any minimum balance that was needed. They didn't have anything that you had to particularly maintain in order to continue to get that rate. And the rates were not promotional. However, I do want to start the video by disclosing these rates are subject to change. In fact, a lot of these high yield savings accounts have already changed once or twice this year. So just know that unless you actually see that the rate is fixed for a certain period of time and it's guaranteed, that these rates are subject to change as of today. And today is May 14th, 2024. These are all FDIC insured as well. And there are companies that have been around for a fairly long amount of time that I feel like that they are good companies that you can use for your high yield savings. So one good example, if you look at like Chase Bank, I think their interest rate currently, and again, this is all dated, this is at the time of recording, is 0.01%. And then you may see a high yield savings that gives you 5%. And the difference is if you had $10,000 in the Chase account, you would only make back $1. If you had $10,000 in the high yield savings, you can potentially make $500 in interest. So that's just the difference between a regular savings and a high yield savings. So key takeaways. The difference in interest between high yield savings account rates and the national average is significant. That's the main thing. So in this example, if you're holding $5,000 in a conventional savings account, for instance, the national average is 0.58%. Again, I looked this up 3 times. I got 3 different answers, but this is the one that we're going to go with. 0.58% is a national average as of this date. Annual percentage yield, APY, you would earn $29 over the course of a year. If you instead put that same $5,000 into an account that was earning 5%, you earn $250, which was half of the example that I said when it was 10,000. So yes, and if you had $20,000 in a high yield savings, you'd make $1,000, so on and so forth, right? Now, what's the best way to use a high yield savings? So a high yield savings is a key component in your financial portfolio. I think everyone should have one. Even if you don't have a financial portfolio, but you're trying to save money, I think that it's one of the most important tools out there that you can use. So consider how much cash that you have available and you can easily set aside according to your goals and your budget. I would not take much, more money than what you can actually afford to set aside, because then you're just going to end up taking it out, which would defeat the purpose of the high yield savings in the first place. So for instance, if your savings account is serving as an emergency fund, I would consider having at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses and deposit that. Or you can set aside a certain amount per month. That may be easier for most people, where if you have $50, eventually that will add up. So the strategy may be different if you're using a high yield savings for, a large purchase like a house, a car, etc. In that case, you may want to use a high paying savings account to help protect your principal while applying interest earnings to your savings goal. So there are accounts that are more easily accessible, or there's also accounts that I'm going to mention in this video that are checking accounts that also earn interest while you're sitting money in there. And you can kind of like, there is no right or wrong way to do this. There are high interest checkings, there are high yield savings, and you can use a combination of the two to help you save money. The point is, you need to be trying to implement strategies where your money makes money for you. So one, you can actually make money work for you, but you can also beat the cost of inflation, which is something that's always on the rise. So even if you have $5,000 in your bank account right now where you're not earning any interest, that $5,000 may only buy you $4,000 worth of goods next year. So even if you have $5,000 and you're thinking that's what you have, if it's only going to buy you $4,000 worth of goods and services, then the money's being devalued and you're just losing income. It doesn't make sense, right? So there's a lot of checking accounts that don't pay any interest. I'm going to mention a few in this video that actually do. And those that generally do offer very low interest rates. So moving extra funds into savings when you don't need them can provide a higher monthly interest payment. And one thing to remember is that your interest earnings will be taxed each year. Okay, so you will have to pay taxes on the interest. So here's what I look for in a high yield savings account. Number one, interest rates. So how much interest does the account currently pay? Is it a standard rate? Is it introductory or promotional rate? Savings account rates are generally flexible, and again, they can change at any time. So if you're watching this video and you're seeing that the rates have changed, that's a normal thing. It does happen. But some accounts will specify that current advertised rates will only be available for an initial period of time. You always want to look out for those factors. Another factor to look for is whether there is a minimum or maximum balance threshold. And there are some high yield savings where if you put, let's say, $5,000, you can only get 5% on 5,000. Anything after that, maybe it's 2%. So you always want to be on the lookout for that. Definitely read the fine print. So require initial deposit. I don't like high yield savings that require a particular initial deposit as the standard. Some give you a promotional offer, which we will talk about, but I don't like that being the standard. Like it's something where it's mandatory. I don't like that. So you want to know how much money is required if that's the case. For example, if it's a very huge high yield savings that you could get, very big interest rate, then maybe it's worth it if you have the money, if it makes sense for you. And do you want to deposit the minimum if it met the requirement? And the minimum balance, how much money are you required to keep in the account? Falling below the minimum can result in fees, which can offset the interest rate earnings. So I definitely don't like that. You don't want to have an account where if you deposit a certain amount, then if you fall below that, then you're charged fees if you need that money in the case of an emergency or if something came up. And then of course fees. Does the bank or credit union or whoever charge any fees on this account? If so, what are the ways that you can avoid them? And always keep your balance above the minimum threshold. These are all things that you definitely want to look out for. Now, additional things to look out for. Can you link to other accounts or brokerage accounts? I like to make sure that all of my accounts can be moving, in and out easily. I like to have my checking account linked to my high yield savings, linked to my checking account and my brokerage account. And I like when I could transfer this in a business day standard. So will the bank allow you to create links between your high yield savings account and deposit accounts at any other bank or brokerage firm? Are there restrictions to linking up multiple accounts, or is there a waiting period? That's another thing. If I need money immediately, I need to know how soon I can access these funds. And of course, that leads us into accessibility. What additional options, if any, are available for withdrawing funds? Can withdrawn funds from the savings be done with an ATM card? Some of them have that as an available option. And deposit options. If you want to deposit checks into the account, does the bank have a smartphone app? Does it offer mobile check deposits? Otherwise, will you be able to mail in a check or deposit them by ATM? That's another form of convenience. How many different options do I have to deposit money into this account? And then the compounding method. Banks can compound interest daily, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. More frequent compounding will theoretically increase your take-home yield. And if you compare accounts by APY instead of annual interest rate, the compounding factor will already have been taken into account. So that's another thing. Depending on how you're able to compound this, again, if the frequency that you're able to compound it will actually tell you how much money you're going to make. I look for interest that is compounded on a monthly time frame because that's going to be the greatest type of compounding that you're able to do. So I don't want it to be quarterly or semi-annually or annually. There are some other products that are like that may give back huge returns. But in this case, we're looking for something where it's monthly. We can see that compounding all the time. All right. Now, before I go into this list, we're starting at number 10. Now, again, I picked these banks that don't have any fees. There's no minimum balance requirement. I also made sure to pick companies that got pretty good reviews and that have been around for a long period of time. All right. Now, the first one that we're going to start with is Ally. Currently at the recording of this video. Okay. So May 14th, 2024. I can't stress that enough because, again, these are subject to change. Now, the annual percentage rate is 4.2%. And you can do this with no overdraft fees, no ACH transfer fees, no monthly maintenance fees, no minimum balance to open, and there's no incoming wire transfer fees. So all of that falls right in line with the criteria that we are looking at. Also on this list, as we continue, the interest rates will only get higher. And if there's any notable things that I saw with each company, then I'm going to talk about that notable thing. Now, let's go on to the Ally website and we're going to take a look at, some of the additional features that they have to offer. We are on the Ally website, and as you can see, our annual percentage yield is 4.2% at the time of recording this video. They also have this savings bucket to organize your money and visualize what you're saving for. I kind of like the organization bucket because, like, let's say you're saving for a car or you're saving for a house. That visual representation of what you're saving to me just reinforces the importance of being able to keep up with this account. I do think that that's a really cool feature to have. You can set up boosters to optimize the maximum savings, even if the rate changes after you open the account. That's another good thing too, because these rates will more than likely change. So you might want to take a look at that booster feature to see, what you can do to increase that savings. And you can also make changes as new priorities arise. So if your goal was to get a new car, and let's say that goal was accomplished, or maybe you were no longer interested, then you can change it to a home or a vacation or whatever the case may be. And you can also get personalized recommendations to help you save more. So there's a little video here that will talk to you about the savings bucket, and then how you can divvy up without multiple bank accounts, or having to actually do a lot of mental math here. So it's like digital envelopes. Saving buckets stash your cash for whatever you want or what you want to do, and you can use them to track your progress, all while earning interest in your total balance. Then carry that organizational spending over, and that way it just helps make this whole thing a lot smoother. You can also do reoccurring transfers. Here's another cool thing I like about Ally. You have roundups. So we track your spending accounts with us for transactions that they can round up to the nearest dollar, similar to like Acorns. When you accrue at least $5 in roundups, we transfer it to your savings. All right. So that may be a feature that you might like If you have something that can be rounded up to $5 from things that you're spending on and you would like that to be deposited, it'll just maximize the amount of money that you're able to save and automates that process without you having to think about it. And I think that's what most of us like. We like the convenience of things being automated where we don't have to think too hard. And then this is an amount of money that, you know, you may not think that it's a lot, but over the course of a year and interest compounding, it can definitely add up to a nice amount in your savings. And then surprise savings. They analyze the linked checking accounts for a safe to save money, and then transfers it to your savings so you don't have to. Again, that's just more automated tools that you have. Now, it is again FDIC insured. All right. And let's see, it compounds interest and is added to the balance so that it itself also earns interest. So that's the compounding that we were talking about. And rate is variable and may change after the account is open. So you do want to, of course, always keep that in mind. I have to keep saying that because I do know that someone's going to probably skim the video, and I want to make sure that I'm emphasizing that a few times as we keep going. And then I believe that it's insured up to $250,000. Let's just take a look at that. And a total of $250,000 per owner. Okay. So that is the FDIC insurance coverage that we do have on the account. And then again, it's letting you know that you can earn more than 5 times the national average. And again, national average, I looked it up. It changed on here. It's saying that the national average for this type of account is 0.46% APY. And then it's also letting us know that in the FDIC, the monthly national rates and rate caps accurate as of April 15th, 2024. So this is a really good one. Again, things are subject to change. So you always want to go to the website. I'm going to put a link in the description. Come here, check, make sure that nothing's changed, and just go through all this information. All right. And again, no monthly maintenance fees or minimum balances that are required. But you want to keep in mind with this type of account, there is a limit to 10 withdrawals per statement cycle. So you do want to keep that in mind as well. The next account on our list is going to be Discover Bank, and they have the Discover Online Savings. So the Discover Online Savings is 4.25%, slight increase from where we were. There is daily and monthly interest compounded. We always want to make sure that we're getting daily, monthly, one of those. So no monthly fees, no insufficient fund fees, and there's no minimum opening requirement. Now, there was one thing I saw on Discover that I thought was very notable. You get 1% cash back on $3,000 in debit card purchases each month when you pair this with their Discover checking account. And we're going to take a look at that and also take a look more on this online savings. All right, so just like the prior one, Discover is letting us know right here on the home screen that we earn interest over 5 times the national average. And of course, we're FDIC insured, and that should be the same up to $250,000 per person that's depositing, right? So maximum savings with minimal hassle. I do like that Discover has this tool here where we can compare to Chase, to PNC, to Bank of America. Like I was saying before, most banks that have just a regular savings, it's very minuscule, 0.10%. And again, back to our example, $10,000, that's $1. 5,000, that's 50 cents. If you were to do with Discover, you would get $425, for 10,000. So really, really great to be looking at this one. You also see the difference in monthly fees, insufficient fund fees, and the requirements, if there are any, for a minimum deposit. Now, they also allow you to compare, which I do like, all these other ones. And let's compare Ally Bank, and let's compare Marcus, and let's compare Capital One. These are actually other ones that are going to be on this list. There are some other options that do offer a higher interest. And then it lets you know daily statement period for the compounding interest, monthly, no fees. So the transparency here is awesome. I do like that a lot. And of course, no fees, period. You'll never pay any of these expedited delivery for official bank checks. You'll never pay for deposited item, the return amounts, account closure, insufficient funds, stop payment orders, excessive withdrawals. Now, that's something you may want to note because you just saw with Ally Bank, there was a limit to the amount of withdrawals that you can take in a statement cycle. You can do excessive withdrawals on here. So that may be a make or break for this one. You'll never pay for official bank checks, no monthly maintenance. And there's a calculator here that lets you know exactly how much you'll save over the course of 5 years. With a course, we know these are subject to change, so that can change. But you can go ahead and check out that tool if you would like. And let's go to check the Discover that checking account, because I do think that is a nice, notable option that you can pair with this account. You can earn cash back with no fees if you apply for a Discover cashback debit account. And of course, that's no impact to your credit score. Now, here's what I like about this. If you're someone right now who maybe doesn't like credit cards, or you're someone who maybe doesn't have the credit to be able to qualify for a rewards card, here is another option. You can earn 1% cash back up to $3,000 in debit card purchases. So simply, if you had bills right now and you were paying them and they added up to $3,000 per month, or you just did $3,000 per month in transactions, you can earn 1% cash back on that $3,000. I do think that is a nice percentage that you can get back just for money that you were going to spend anyway. So, if you don't have a credit card where you earn rewards, maybe you're in the process of rebuilding and you don't want to apply for anything right now, or you don't have a secure card that has that, this is a nice feature that you can actually pair. Now, another notable feature that I like on here, you can get paid early with direct deposit. So you can get your paycheck up to 2 days early when you set that up. And then you'd also be able to pair this with your high yield savings. So easy transfer, easy access. I do like that you can send and receive money with Zelle. That's always a big thing, because with Zelle, you can move money, almost instantly. So that's always a big thing that you want to have. Free overdraft protection. You can freeze your debit card. Again, that's something that you can get with every single checking account, but you usually will not see 1% cash back on most checking accounts. I know it's limited up to $3,000, but still, if that's how much you were spending anyway for transactions in a month, this is a great addition to add with your high yield savings for Discover. Number 8 on our list is going to be American Express. This is actually a high yield savings account that I'm currently using right now, and it has the same exact 4.25% APY, same as Discover. And of course, this one has no fees. You're FDIC insured. And if you do have an American Express checking account, then you can earn 1% APY. And we're just going to go to the website and get more information on this. So with 4.25% APY, we also get the no minimum balance, no monthly fees, FDIC insured up to $250,000. They also have a calculator here with the national rate and then showing you what your future interest can potentially be when you're using this account. You also get compounding daily and depositing monthly, which should be a prerequisite already that we have in mind at this point. All right, let's take a look at what we can see with that checking account. So this is the American Express Rewards Checking. Enhance your membership with rewards. And when you have this right here, we earn a 1% APY, 10x higher than the national average. Again, if you already have American Express credit cards, this is definitely something that maybe you want to pair with the high yield savings account, and you can have everything in one place. It's no monthly fees to open. There's no minimum deposit that's required, no monthly fees. And of course, it is backed by Amex. They have that 24/7 world-class customer service. I've always had a great experience when I've used them. Very easy to manage on the application. I have my high yield savings with all my credit cards all in the same place, as well as a business checking account, which is separate, from my personal. Number 7 on our list will be Capital One. Capital One is also at 4.25% for that high yield savings rate. Of course, there's no fees and no minimum balance that's required with Capital One. Now, with Capital One having the same exact 4.25%, of course, it's FDIC insured up to $250,000. One of the notable features that I do like with Capital One is their in-store access fee-free partner ATMs. So you can actually make a deposit for Capital One in places like Target, Walgreens, and CVS. I think that's really cool when you think about accessibility and convenience. If you were going to these places a lot and maybe you did cash deposits, you can then just deposit your money straight from Target, from Walgreens, from CVS locations right into your high yield savings account. So I think that for the convenience of that, that is definitely something that should be noted. And they're in the network where more than 70,000 fee-free Capital One Money Pass and all point ATMs are available to choose from. Other than that, everything else with Capital One is per our standard of the 4.25% APY, 5 times national average, and no fees, no monthly maintenance fees, no minimum requirements to open the account, which is, again, always what we're looking for. And in addition, of course, FDIC insured. You can open this in as fast as 5 minutes. And we have those additional locations that we can deposit money with Capital One. Now, the number 6 high yield savings on our list is Barclays. Now, this is where we're going to get a slight increase to 4.35% APY, direct deposit made easy and simple, no monthly maintenance fees, no minimum balances are required to open this account. Now, on the Barclays site, again, we see our rate 5 times than the national average, 4.35% APY, and our rates are consistently some of the highest in the nation. And plus, you'll also get these great features. The secure 24/7 online access to your funds, online transfers to and from other banks, direct deposit, no monthly maintenance fees, no minimum balances, and tools to help you save. So pretty much it is per standard with all of the other accounts that we have, with a slightly higher APY that we're going to get with Barclays online savings account. Number 5 is going to be the Marcus by Goldman Sachs. When I did get the Goldman Sachs business credit card, the GM card, I did also do the Goldman Sachs high yield savings account. So this one is, again, slightly higher, 4.4% APY. It's an online savings account. You can earn a rate that, at the time I screenshot this from the website, they're saying that it's 8 times the national average, backed by the financial expertise of Goldman Sachs, with no fees, no minimum deposit. Now this is one of the great features: same day transfers of $100,000 or less from other banks. So you can transfer up to $100,000 in the same day from other institutions. So on the Marcus by Goldman Sachs website, as the date of recording, you can see 4.40% APY for the online savings. And again, same information. This is FDIC insured. And they also give you a calculator that breaks down the rates compared to American Express, compared to Ally, compared to the national average, Chase, and Citibank. So that's something that you can actually play with. Other than that, it's very easy to open the account. You can do it in a few minutes, link your account fairly quickly, and transfer money when you need it. And you can also schedule transfers into or out of the account, and you can review recent transactions and track your transfers. You can also see how much interest you've earned over the year fairly easily with this app. I do think that Marcus has one of the easiest apps to actually use, very user friendly, and very easy to just go in there, see what you need to see, get in and get out. And that pretty much wraps up this one. So number 4 on our list is going to be SoFi. Now, SoFi is the only high yield savings account on our list that actually does have an additional sign up bonus, but that sign up bonus does come with stipulations. So let's first talk about the high yield savings. There's no account fees. You can earn up to 4.6% APY, up to 2-day early paycheck, and no overdraft coverage. Now, when you sign up, this one includes a checking and savings. You do have to have a checking or savings account. You need to sign up for direct deposit. That is required to receive the 4.6 4.6% APY. If you don't do the direct deposit, it's going to only be 1.7% APY, which really would ultimately defeat the purpose of using this account. And you can earn an extra 0.5% on the checking account. So that's a nice addition. Now, here's the requirement for the sign up bonus. It's $300 if you sign up for direct deposit, but the deposit has to be between if it's between $1,000 to $4,999, you get $50. If it's $5,000 plus, you'll receive the $300. So within a 30-day time frame, you need to have a direct deposit that is equivalent of $5,000 in order for you to get that $300 sign-up bonus. Now, on the SoFi website, as of the date of recording, we see the 4.6%, letting you know that you do have no account fees, but you will be getting the SoFi checking account and the savings account. Like all the previous ones, it is FDIC insured. We also can see that at the time of recording, we do have that sign-up bonus. You also have roundup and save. So even when you're spending, you're saving. When you do the roundup, all of your purchases are automatically rounded up to the nearest dollar and deposited into your savings vault. All right. They're saying that this is 10 times the national average, as we're seeing that today. And also you get that 0.5% additional savings when you have the SoFi checking account. So with this one, there is a lot to take a look at. You also have the FDIC insurance up to $2 million on deposits through a seamless network. So remember, all the other ones were around 250,000. With SoFi, you're getting up to 2 million. And then you can do the roundups. You can also set to automatic saving. And you can also meet your savings goals with vaults. So vaults is another tool that you can use just to assist you with saving for a particular goal in mind. It's a very easy app to actually use, and opening an account is very quick. Now, if you want to get that average of 4.6%, you want to get that sign-up bonus, and you like the features that they have, I believe SoFi is a great option to use. There are going to be other additional high yield savings accounts still that will have more, but this is a very good all-around option for you to use, and the only one on this list that has a sign-up bonus. Number 3 on the list is Wealthfront. More interest on your cash. Now, I want to note that technically this isn't a high yield savings, it's a cash account because Wealthfront itself is not a bank, but it's going to give us basically all the same things that we need, right? So it's more interest on your cash. You earn 5% APY. You earn more on your short-term savings with a high APY that's delivered through our partner bank. So Wealthfront is backed by other institutions, similar to a fintech company. Your cash is easy to access and easy to invest in with no sneaky requirements or strings attached, no account fees, unlimited transfers, and free same-day withdrawals. That's also very big. There is no minimum or maximum balance to earn 5% APY, and it is insured up to 8 million FDIC through their partner banks. All right, so let's take a look at the Wealthfront website. You can start saving with $1. I do think that is amazing. That's definitely something that you want to take a look at. On the Apple App Store, 4.8 for the rating, 4.9 in the Google Play Store. And NerdWallet gave them the best cash management app in 2020. So 0 account fees. We know the unlimited transfers. There's no minimum requirements. Other than that, we're not going to get too many additional features. We do see that wire transfers are $10. So that's something that we would probably want to avoid. You can transfer to invest in minutes, but you do get free same day withdrawals, and you can initiate a transfer to eligible accounts by 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to get your funds same day, even on weekends, even on holidays. I do think that is really, really big. And that's something that you should definitely keep in mind. And you can also use your favorite payment apps like Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Apple Pay, and Google Pay. So with that, we're not getting, anything too crazy. You also get a lot of good tools that you can use with Wealthfront. But other than that, everything is, pretty much straightforward. When you do the direct deposit, if you decide to do that with Wealthfront, then you can also get paid up to 2 days early. So, I mean, that's also something that you can look at with the access of another debit card that you can have here, like some of the previous options. All right. Number 2 on our list is Laurel Road. So Laurel Road high yield savings, you can get 5% APY, making it the second, third highest on the list, tied with Wealthfront at the time of recording this video. There's no minimum balance, zero cost to open, earn 10 times the national average, and deposits are FDIC insured. So let's take a look at the website. Like our previous options, no maintenance fees, no minimum balance. Unlike Wealthfront, while it is FDIC insured, it is up to $250,000. Still good. That is per standard with all the other accounts. We do get a nice high yield savings calculator here, just like the other websites. And then there are some questions that can be answered here. Of course, we already know what a high yield savings account is, about the minimum balance requirements, the insurance, and how to deposit money. And there are several ways that you can do that. You can start a transfer from other banks, send a domestic wire transfer, set up direct deposit, or make a mobile check deposit. You can also even send a check by mail. So Laurel Road doesn't really give you, too many crazy options, but you do get a very, very high 5% APY with all the other requirements that we look for met. Now, number 1 on our list is going to be UFB Direct. Now, UFB Direct has a 5.25% APY at the time of recording this video. However, you can unlock up to 5.45% APY when you combine with the UFB Freedom checking account with the secured savings. And you can boost your savings APY by up to 0.2% with fewer fees and faster transactions. No monthly maintenance fees, no deposit requirements, access your funds 24/7, and enjoy peace of mind with the FDIC insurance up to the maximum allowance limit. All right, so let's go to the website and take a look. All right, we are on the website. At the time of recording, it's 5.25% APY, making it the highest one that we've seen on this list so far. You also get FDIC insurance up to $250,000 and $500,000 for joint owners. Same thing like most of our other banks on this list. So when looking at the UFB Direct checking account, we do earn that additional 0.2%, so you can boost your savings. And that is something that you may also want to look into. That also does not have any maintenance fees or minimum requirements. But when we combine and bundle that, I mean, we can save a phenomenal amount with this particular high yield savings account, making it the number 1 high yield savings account on this list. So this will wrap up the top 10 high yield savings account that meets the requirements that we set forth in this video. Please, if you find any other high yield savings accounts that you think are equivalent or just as well, or things that I didn't cover, drop it in the comments below. These were just the ones that met my criteria that I found to be the best, and that I do think have a long history, that they're going to be able to maintain similar rates in the future or compete with these other institutions. Now, know that, again, these are subject to change. We don't know when that may or may not happen. So I would try to take advantage of them while you can. And if there are, any other financial tools that you're interested in having me talk about, please drop that in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you have a wonderful day.